Can I ask you a question?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You just said that when we were contemplating, you said if divine inspiration comes, then we must follow that.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I have been not following, and it has come, and I'm not following. And I had this I guess I had this idea because of the past that whenever God's will comes very clearly, I just follow because there is an alignment. It's not like God's will and my will. It's just one thing, and it's been like that in the past.
Uh,
Maybe not every, but it's
Let me
been.
make sure I'm hearing this right. What
Yeah,
you're saying is that in the past, when it is clear that something is God's will, there has always been alignment with your will. Is that what you're saying?
not always, not always. No, not always. No, but a lot of the time, yeah. No, not always. Sometimes I can see it and I see that I move in a different direction, but I guess I had a feeling that if it did come for something like this, for big movements like this, it would be aligned. It wouldn't be like. And when it did come, and when I was in silence, it was perfectly one thing, and it was very true and easy and um, not conflicted and
Exactly.
very beautiful.
Very good. So let me
I guess
share a little bit on that. I know you have another question, but this part is very important. When we are more or less merged with Him in His presence, then there is no distinction or very little distinction between His guidance and my want. So it seems like what He wants is what I want. But remembering to follow His will is very important, because when we are stuck in Maya, when we are stuck in me, then we are only open to following my will. And we have a lot of spiritual sounding things which are still things that we want, which then take the place, they act as replacements of His will in our mind, saying that, but I'm being spiritual. But that is not true. So to remember that if I'm not open, I'm rushing, I'm not waiting for Him to move me or to guide me, then I'm stuck in Maya. So I must return, especially when I don't want to following His will, even if it seems like it is a big sacrifice to switch away from what I want to being open to what He wants. So that don't wait for just alignment. Alignment means beautiful that you are in His presence, but remember that when we are caught up in the me, then we just do what we want, and we will not wait to be guided by God or led by God or led by Spirit, Atma. So we must notice these things and return to our heart and only follow His will, or at least follow
I
His
say
will as much as possible. I want to tell all of you that this project is very difficult.
yes.
So I see somewhere in all of us, we just feel like it's not that easy. I know. I'm not saying at all that it is easy. Somewhere there is a mistaken idea of spirituality being easy, which we need to really work out of our system. It is not easy. When there are times of ease where it just flows, that is a great blessing. It is beautiful. and those times do come. But if you keep waiting for that ease to come always, then you see, to follow God's will is the biggest project given to us by the sages. And some sages, and I've repeated that often, have said that that is the main thing, to follow His will. They would not have emphasized it so much and so often if they felt like it is easy. Once someone hears the instruction, they'll just be able to do that, because we are very attached to our will, our way. And to sacrifice that, what we want, moment to moment, will seem difficult. We don't even come to satsang when we don't want. We come to satsang, we go to places which remind us of God when we want. So the project is to be able to let go of that want, practice that moment to moment. Ask yourself now, what do I want? Try to let it go. Replace that with, what does God want?
Father,
Yeah.
see what you're saying right now? Replace what do I want with what does God want? I don't know how to put this into words, but it goes back to what you were saying. It's not easy. Like
Yeah.
to do that moment to moment, it seems like such a, I don't want to say impossible, but
But I'm saying it. Is it
no,
like
no, that's not what I feel, but it's
yeah, almost there.
all the time.
You cannot what all the time?
Go back and consult what do you want, not what I want, because it takes a while
Yeah.
sometimes to know that. And then, so what do I do?
Yeah.
Do I
Correct. So sometimes I've seen with Aslan, no, that he loves chasing his tail. Huh? So he'll just go, he'll keep chasing his tail. He's probably thinking that he's going somewhere in that process. So most of our activity, most of the things, or not most actually, all, do you feel like something could happen if it was not God's will?
no.
So when we follow my will, we are just chasing our own tail till we get the point, and we make some forward movement, some deepening in the process. You see? So the illusion of something happening or progress happening, or at least I'm doing something that is going to help, is very different from actually the inspired movement, which in one moment can change the texture of our entire life.
Can you say that again?
Yes, one moment of inspired movement can change the texture of our entire life, versus we may try to do things by our own effort and strength and will, but it is all chasing the tail, and those efforts are never for God anyway, although they seem to be. So if the project of our life, which is to spend this life in God's presence, has been forgotten, then can we say, but if I keep waiting for God, what is going to happen to my life? But without being with God, what is going to happen to our life anyway? Do we know the difference between haste and speed?
Yeah, rushing, you mean? And
Yes.
speed?
Yes. And speed.
Yeah, yeah.
Is rushing equal to speed?
No,
Exactly.
no, and I do feel this rushing of the mind going like, okay, there is this dual mind, of course,
Yeah.
that says, come on, you know what you
Exactly.
need to do. And then, but it's kind of rushing and there's this pressure and I
Absolutely.
don't want to act from that.
Yes. So the mind is all about displacement. But if you want really to traverse distance, a deepening in our heart, it is about the heart itself, about God. Do you know the difference between displacement and distance? All my physics is coming to some use today. Displacement and
I think,
distance? So displacement can be like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Is displacement. You see? All this you can measure and say displacement. Distance, you see, because you return to the same point of starting is traveled is zero. So unless you had some actual movement, an actual movement in this case is a deepening in the heart. Till then, it's only displacement and no distance. So the mind is all about displacement. Do something, do something, do something, do something, do something. You see? And
yeah,
true distance is only divinely inspired.
yeah.
True deepening, true progress is only divinely inspired.
Is it?
Remember that this brand of spirituality is not easy, it is not going to make your life stress free, it is not going to make you all blissed out. Many times it will seem like, what are you even doing? It will seem like you are not cut out for this. And I'm happy if it is feeling like that. When it is feeling too comfortable, then I'm a bit concerned. Of course, those times will come. With this armchair, lip service, comfortable spirituality. So either it has become all about God's will, which case then it can be comfortable, or we've settled into a spiritual me whose ideas we think are all spiritual and we're going in the right way, but we actually still operating from our mind. So sincerely ask yourself, what is it that I want? Empty yourself of that. Then you will become a vessel for the Holy Spirit, for the Atma. So whether we look at the construct of the heart temple or becoming vessels of Atma, it's the same thing.
When I was